to continue our afternoon, I would like to welcome Honorable Brian Wong, who is the Minister of Advanced Education, and I will invite him to say a few words.
Thank you, Amanda. It's a real pleasure to be here. I do want to acknowledge everybody in the room. I want to acknowledge the students, the award recipients. I certainly want to acknowledge their parents, their family, their friends that are here to support them. I also want to acknowledge my legislative counterpart that's here somewhere, Honorable Ian Ranking, somewhere in the room. I did see him. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm here on behalf of the Honorable Becky Druin, Minister, Department of Education and Early Childhood Development. So basically what I'm saying is that I was the second choice. Thank you for that. It's funny, when we got here, I thought I said, I'm going to get around to every table and make sure I get to say hello to the students and the families. And the first table that I was assigned to happened to be with a former coworker and his family. So the conversation over there took a lot longer. So anyway, I apologize if I didn't get around to say hello, but hopefully we'll get a chance afterwards. So I do want to acknowledge that we do have some tragic events going around the province. I certainly need to acknowledge the wildfires that are going on here in the Tantallon area, the fires that are going down on the South Shore and in the Shelburne and the Barrington area. Our thoughts are all with them. And I've said a few times, I said, appreciate the weather, but pray for rain. And we certainly need it as we go forward. So, but this week is about celebrating. This is the 36th Access Awareness Week since it's been going. And it's really neat to meet the students and talk to the students and families, because as a teacher and a principal for 28 years, I had lots of students with various challenges and stuff. And we always look for ways like, how can we support them best? And I started my education career in the early 90s. And our supports weren't that good. Our supports weren't that good 30 years ago. And I certainly want to believe that we've come a long ways. And I certainly believe we have, but I have to share with a little story, because I see Amanda, that I do see Amanda wearing hearing aids. I'm also wearing a hearing aid, but the students with hearing challenges, one of my first years, it was a grade 9 student. His name was Trevor, and it was wearing a hearing device, and I was wearing a microphone. And there were other students that were very challenging in the classroom. So I had to take them out in the hallway and give them a good talking to. And I go back in and everybody's laughing because I forgot to turn the mic off. He was, I bet nobody here with any type of hearing impairment has ever experienced that, correct? Anyway, certainly congratulations to the scholarship recipients. At Advanced Education, we're responsible for post-secondary. So we're universities, Nova Scotia Community College, student assistance, and accessibility services. And it's such an important division that we have, because we're able to support more and more people by understanding the needs of people that need the support, and then providing the financial backing in order to get those accommodations they need, whether or not it's a hearing device, whether or not it's a computer, whether or not it's a chair. So we are always there to try to make sure that everybody can achieve their full potential. And that's the whole idea of the education system, is that how do I achieve, or how does my son, my daughter achieve their full potential? And that's what we're here for. And that's what these awards are all about. So for you that have overcome challenges different than other people of your age, it's absolutely amazing. I read your bios today and I said, oh my goodness, there's 2 people here from Lockview. My son graduated from Lockview last year. I thought, well, that's pretty cool. And so it's nice to see that you have certainly overcome. You've worked harder than other students have had to do to get to where you are today. So we also provide partnership grants to community agencies working to ensure that people with any type of disability and need are supported in their efforts to get through their educational career and get the job you want. And that's important, because there were jobs previously, not even that long ago, that you may not have had access to because you couldn't get the education, because you didn't have the supports. So because of these supports, we see more students last year with disabilities in our post-secondary systems than ever before. So things are happening, things are changing. So as a government, we continue to make progress to our 2030 targets for a more accessible Nova Scotia by providing persons with disabilities with those services and those programs. We'll continue to work on that, and your feedback is essential. So what we hear from you as students going forward, as parents, as your students go through the system, it's important that we have your feedback. So some of the initiatives include building standards, education, public transportation, and communication standards. So in my own community in Waverly, the Chima Aquatic Club, which is, one of the foremost aquatic clubs in Canada, received a provincial grant of $258,000 for accessible docks. So what that means is that people with disabilities or mobility issues or seniors that want to paddle can actually get into these canoes and kayaks and actually participate in a sport or an activity they wouldn't normally do. And I visited the site with the premier yesterday, and they were actually installing them. And it was just amazing to see the enthusiasm on faces of people that are going to really benefit from that. And if you haven't been in one of those little canoes or kayaks, they're only that wide, they're tough to get into. So I would encourage anybody to go out and try. So truly on behalf of the province, on behalf of myself as a person and as a former educator, actually, I'm not a former educator. I will always be an educator. Congratulations to everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. And please, if you see me hanging around, please come up and say hello to me. I look forward to meeting you. Thank you.